Hey everybody, Darin Garman here, and I wanted to get a quick message out to you today, and on a video actually. I just got done recording a message to some of my investment partners about some things that we're working on and kind of some things that are in the mix. And I thought, based on that message, it would be appropriate to share some information with you, especially with what I see going on in the investment marketplace. So I'm going to really be using the multifamily investment marketplace as kind of my anchor for what I want to talk to you about really quickly here. But it really pertains to probably every kind of investment that you may be looking at, that you may be currently involved in, or, as I said, may be considering being involved in. And it really comes down to, even though this may sound so common sense, so why you even sharing this message with us kind of message, if that makes sense, maybe. But at the risk of offending your common sense and your intelligence, I want to mention something to you that is much, much, much easier said than done. Okay, and it's really about making sure that when you invest in whatever it is next, multifamily, another piece of real estate, the next stock, the next business, whatever it is, make sure you don't just buy and invest just to buy and invest. Now, let me tell you what I mean by that. Many of us, including me, spend a lot of time looking at, analyzing, reviewing, doing due diligence on investments. So I'm going to use multifamily as an example, but this applies to basically every investment. So I spend hours and hours each week looking at properties to purchase. And week after week, nothing comes up that is going to be a good purchase unless I relax my criteria, unless I become more flexible in what I'm looking for, unless I start making exceptions on things. Okay? Because it's easy to say you have criteria. It's easy to say here's what the business, investment, property, real estate, whatever it is, has to have in order for me to get involved in it. It is freaking easy to do that and say that. It is much harder to stay to that. Super hard. Super hard. I get phone calls from big companies, corporations, once, 3 or 4 times a week saying, hey, do you have anything for us to buy? And this is the same company, corporation, real estate, venture that months ago, they wouldn't even look at investing in anything in Iowa. Now they're looking at investing in Iowa. Okay? I have a set of criteria that I look at every time I look at a multifamily community to buy and to own. And bottom line is, the majority of them over the last 3 to 4 months, they haven't met the criteria. And it sure as hell is easy to maybe be flexible in this area, relax in that area, so now it kind of fits the criteria and maybe we can get on with investing in something. Why? Well, I'm spending a lot of money, I'm spending a lot of time, I'm spending a lot of energy, you name it. I got investors calling me, what's next, what do you find and what can we invest in? It's not easy. Part of me wants to relax the criteria. Part of me wants to make exceptions so we can get into the next property because of all the time, effort, energy, and expectations. And I know in some way, many of you have the same thing going on. Maybe in varying degrees, but in some way you do. And it is so damn easy to relax your criteria just to get a deal done. And I could say it's the same thing for, not even selecting an investment, selecting a spouse or whatever. You know, you may have an idea on what you want your spouse to look like, and you want to kind of stick to that, but maybe you're not having much luck there, and so maybe you're looking at something a hell of a lot different, but that might not be the right thing to do. And there are varying degrees of all that. Okay? So look, here's my message again. Just make sure you don't buy just to buy. You don't invest just to invest. You don't start relaxing and being too flexible in a whole bunch of areas and really become too flexible with your criteria. You've got a criteria for a reason. You've got benchmarks you want to hit for a reason. You've got expectations for a reason. Right? So this isn't a video where we debate how realistic your expectations are, how realistic your criteria is. That's for another time. But at the end of the day, it's easy to say what your criteria is and what you'll stick with. It is a hell of a lot harder to stick to it, especially as more time goes by, more energy is spent, more frustration mounts, more pressure mounts, and there you are. Okay, so don't buy just to buy, don't relax your criteria, stick to it. It just means it's going to take more time, effort, and energy, and what I told my partners, we're just going to have to continue to grind it out more time in grinding it out for us to get to where we want to get to in that project that's going to make the most sense for us. Okay? All right, take care, have a great day, have a great week. We'll talk to you later. See you. Bye-bye.